The 6 focus levels, mapping consciousness. What if the vibrations and shift in self-location you experience were just the first steps on a precisely mapped journey through consciousness itself? Unlike ancient mystical traditions that described these states in poetic or abstract terms, the gateway process researchers discovered something remarkable: a comprehensive cartography of awareness with distinct, measurable levels that anyone could learn to navigate with practice. These weren't just philosophical constructs, but documented states with specific entry and exit points, like doorways between different realms of perception. For thousands of years, humans have stumbled upon these altered states randomly through meditation, near-death experiences, or spontaneous occurrences. Monks spent decades in mountain retreats trying to consistently access these realms. But the CIA's research team approached this terrain with scientific precision, systematically documenting what they called focus levels, specific bands of consciousness that could be reliably induced and navigated through proper training. Focus 10, aptly named mind awake, body asleep, serves as the crucial entry point into this expanding awareness. In this foundational state, your physical awareness diminishes while your mental alertness remains fully intact. Your body enters a profound relaxation, approaching the lucid dream state, where your mind concentrates on internal events with greater perceptual focus than normal waking consciousness allows. If you've ever been on the edge of sleep while maintaining clear awareness, that fleeting moment before dreams begin, you've briefly touched this state. Gateway training allows you to stabilize and explore this threshold deliberately. This first level creates the neurological conditions necessary for further expansion. Your body becomes increasingly difficult to sense while your mind remains crystal clear. Practitioners describe a sensation as if their awareness has shifted from being in their body to being slightly above or beside it, while still maintaining connection. This represents a loosening of the tight knot between consciousness and physical form. As you stabilize in Focus 10, the gateway to Focus 12 begins to open. This second level, called expanded awareness, extends perception beyond immediate surroundings. You begin accessing intuitive information that would normally remain below the threshold of conscious awareness. The CIA documents describe this state as characterized by a heightening or expansion of the mind and body, along with a strong sense of vibration or a charged feeling. Focus 12 is where the boundaries between internal and external worlds start to blur. Information appears in your awareness that seems to come from beyond your physical senses. You might perceive distant locations, access memories with unusual clarity, or receive insights about situations without logical reasoning. The gateway research indicates this is the level where practitioners begin meaningfully interacting with dimensions beyond physical reality and can enlist the assistance of their higher self. Robert, a gateway participant documented in the research files, described his progression through these levels. In Focus 10, I felt like I was floating slightly above myself, completely relaxed yet mentally alert. Moving into Focus 12, I suddenly became aware of information about my sister's health condition that I couldn't possibly have known, details later confirmed as accurate. As practice deepens, Focus 15 becomes accessible. Known as no time, this state represents a profound shift in how consciousness perceives reality. Temporal perception, our normal experience of past, present, and future as separate, completely dissolves. You exist in what the researchers called a perpetual now state, where all points in time seem accessible simultaneously. The report indicates that this level grows naturally out of a strong and stable Focus 12 and allows practitioners to access deep layers of the subconscious mind. The most significant threshold in the gateway process is Focus 21, appropriately called the bridge. This critical state represents the full separation point where consciousness can completely detach from physical awareness. According to the research, individuals who achieve this state have reached a truly advanced level of practice. This is where out-of-body experiences become stable and controllable rather than fleeting or accidental. Robert's experiences continued. In Focus 15, time simply ceased to exist. I could access childhood memories with the same immediacy as present moments. When I finally reached Focus 21, I found myself completely separated from my body, able to move through walls and observe remote locations with perfect clarity. The CIA documents also reference Focus 27 and beyond, though with less detail. These even more rarefied states involve complete separation and access to what they termed non-physical realms. The research suggested these advanced levels might allow contact with other conscious entities and information sources beyond conventional understanding. What makes these focus levels particularly significant is their correlation with measurable brainwave patterns. Each state creates a distinct neurological signature that corresponds with specific subjective experiences. These brainwave patterns aren't just laboratory curiosities. They represent reproducible states that individuals can learn to access deliberately, making the seemingly metaphysical realm of expanded consciousness scientifically approachable. The government's interest in these states wasn't philosophical, but practical. The report suggests that by accessing these altered states, individuals might gain access to information beyond the limitations of physical senses. Their goal was developing a core of psychic operatives who could gather intelligence by projecting consciousness to distant locations. While the classified nature of their findings limits complete disclosure, declassified documents confirm that subjects consistently reported verifiable information from locations they had never physically visited. The gateway process mapped consciousness with unprecedented precision. What ancient mystics described through symbolic language, these researchers documented through repeatable protocols and measurable neurological markers, creating a practical roadmap anyone could follow with proper training consciousness and dedication. While these measurable brainwave patterns aren't random fluctuations, they're precisely engineered states triggered by a technology the CIA considered powerful enough to classify for decades. Behind each focus level lies a sophisticated sound technology that can literally reprogram your neural oscillations with nothing more than ordinary headphones and carefully calibrated tones. This auditory phenomenon forms the backbone of the gateway process, transforming what might seem like simple sounds into a powerful tool for consciousness alteration. When the CIA first encountered claims about sound frequencies altering consciousness, the response was predictable skepticism. The scientific establishment had dismissed such ideas as pseudoscience or New Age fantasy. The notion that mere sounds could fundamentally alter brain function seemed implausible. But as neurological measurements accumulated, this skepticism gave way to serious investigation. Researchers discovered that binaural beats produced measurable, consistent changes in brain activity that could be documented with EEG equipment. The mechanics behind binaural beats reveal a fascinating quirk of human neurology. Your brain performs a remarkable feat when presented with two slightly different frequencies in separate ears. If you hear a 300 Hz tone in one ear and a 310 Hz tone in the other, your brain doesn't perceive two separate tones. Instead, it creates a third phantom beat frequency of 10 Hz, the mathematical difference between the two original tones. This phantom beat exists entirely within your auditory processing system as your brain reconciles the frequency differential. Consider Sarah, a first-time gateway participant who was initially skeptical. When she put on headphones during her initial session, she expected to hear ordinary meditation music. At first, I just heard pleasant tones, she recalled. But within minutes, something strange happened. I could perceive this pulsing rhythm that seemed to come from inside my head rather than the headphones. That's when I realized my brain was creating something that wasn't actually in the recording. This phantom beat becomes a signal that your entire brain begins to follow. Through a process called frequency following response, your neural oscillations synchronize to match the phantom frequency. By carefully selecting the original tones, researchers can guide your brainwaves into specific frequency ranges associated with altered states of consciousness. The gateway process researchers mapped precise frequency combinations to induce each focus level. For the initial focus 10 state, where the body sleeps while the mind remains alert, the process begins with frequencies producing phantom beats in the alpha range, 8 to 12 Hz. As practitioners progress to focus 12, the frequencies shift to create phantom beats in the theta range, 4 to 8 Hz. The deeper focus 15 state involves combinations generating delta theta patterns, 1 to 8 Hz, while the projection-ready focus 21 state utilizes sophisticated frequency layers, producing coherent gamma activity, 25 to 100 Hz, across multiple brain regions. This progression follows a careful protocol. Practitioners move through a graduated sequence of frequencies that guide the brain through natural transitions. The gateway process begins with higher frequency beats matching normal waking consciousness, then gradually introduces slower frequencies, leading the brain through alpha, into theta, and eventually into delta theta combinations where profound separations occur. Each step prepares the neurological conditions for the next, creating a scaffolding effect supporting the expansion of awareness. The actual binaural beat frequencies are ingeniously masked within pleasant background sounds, gentle white noise, flowing water, or ambient music. These carrier sounds make the listening experience pleasant and help disguise the operation of the binaural beats, preventing the analytical mind from fixating on the technology. The background sounds also contain subtle harmonic elements, enhancing the frequency following response. As your brain responds to these calibrated frequencies, distinct physical sensations emerge. The initial phase brings a pleasant heaviness to your limbs as sensory processing diminishes. Deeper in, many practitioners report a distinctive tingling starting at the extremities and gradually spreading throughout the body, the first tangible sign of shifting brainwave patterns. These sensations intensify, approaching the threshold states between focus 15 and focus 21, culminating in vibrational states, rapid, subtle energy movements throughout the body, often preceding complete projection experiences. The gateway process researchers documented these physical responses, correlating them with specific shifts in brainwave activity. They found vibrational states consistently appeared when EEG readings showed the transition. From predominantly theta waves to the unique theta-gamma combinations characterizing the separation threshold. These sensations are reliable indicators of specific neurological states. What makes binaural beats particularly valuable for consciousness exploration is their accessibility. Unlike traditional meditation, requiring years of disciplined training, binaural beat technology can induce similar brainwave states in beginners, often within their first few sessions. The technology creates a shortcut to states that traditionally required extensive practice. This democratization of consciousness exploration made the technology valuable to gateway process researchers. It allowed systematic study of states previously accessible only to dedicated practitioners. Most fascinating is how this sound technology interacts with the brain's natural electromagnetic field. The Gateway report suggests that as binaural beats synchronize the hemispheres, they create a coherent electromagnetic pattern, potentially interacting with the universal hologram, the quantum information field permeating reality. Through this interaction, consciousness may access information and experiences beyond physical limitations, fulfilling the Gateway process's ultimate goal, expanding human perception beyond conventional boundaries and opening doorways to dimensions of awareness previously accessible to only a select few. Quantum